Hello, everybody. I am coming to you from a new location. I am in New Jersey at a beach house with my family. So had to find a little corner where I could stream from, and who knows, you might hear babies screaming running by. My two are 6 and 4, but my brother is here with his twin 1.5-year-olds and 3-year-old. So we've got 5 little kids running about this place. So
Gosh.
with that said, hello, Lucie.
Hello.
Joining us from Ireland. Is that
Yes,
right?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Ireland. Yeah.
So tell us about what you're doing for your role.
Well, I like saying what I'm being more than anything. It's just a big thing about like the unlearning of just the doing. And I'm just going to just take up this so like that I can sip my tea without clinging. I am Lucie and I'm a psychic and intuitive business mentor. And my biggest, like, I'm actually getting into birthing a new word. It came up today, so it's all about transcendence, something like that. So I feel like maybe transcendress or something like that. So I need just to sink into that, but like it's really helping my client tapping into their soul. So like entering their own temple, their heart space, and discovering, not really discovering, but remembering who they are deeply so they can actually show up within the business with more ease and playfulness. Like
Mm.
that would be kind of the very short entry of what I do.
So how does being a psychic play into your business and how you support others in their businesses?
It's actually such a beautiful. First of all, it's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. In the way I work with my client, it's like when you work with me one on one or with on the short, like in a smaller container. When I don't work with a lot of people, like work with very small amount of people. Like usually the biggest will be 7 people. So it's just like very intimate. So the thing is, I get, if you always ask for authorization, because you're not going into someone auric field without being asked, because that can be very threatening for some. But basically it's really much when we are doing that with my clients, we really, I'm like tuning into what are the questions. There is some question that you feel like, I don't know, like, you know, the be like, I don't know about it. And you feel like it's spinning in your head and everything. So what I actually go and I just give you a transmission. Like I get to your auric field, you can get me, you can ask me any question, and then I will be like really tapping into it. Usually I start seeing colors first and foremost, like already seeing, I see colors, and then I hear words, I see words, I can see interaction, I can see faces. Like it's not usually the person per se, but it's the avatar of that person. And sometimes I can see their next client, I can see their next offering. It just really doesn't, like, it depends, and it's really much what they are looking for. And sometimes also love questions, like the relationship comes up for sometimes.
So the perfect client for you, what stage are they at when they reach you? Are they like clear on what they're doing, but they have a particular question? Or are they just like, I want to be doing business and I have no idea what to do? Or is it a mixture?
Well, it's actually a great question. Again, it depends. Like if you were to work with me one on one, like in my longer container, which is 12 months, you need to know who you are a little bit. So because we are going to go working deeper into attracting more than anything, but you need to be aware of your energetic field, your auric field. You need to be aware of a lot the energy, like what, even just what energetics means basically. So if you don't know, it's not going to be the perfect investment for you, because there is a lot of things that, not a lot, but you do need some background to get to that next level. But the thing is, I do have other, like, if you were to just start out, I would say the starting out with my one-on-one 90 minutes call would be the best, because that's really transmission. So we're going to go deep into what is currently needing to be alchemized, so we can actually work through that, heal some of it, and maybe like letting you a couple of extra days for you to just sync information and just shift that. But I really work with people that already been awakened. So that's the big thing about what I do, is like I'm not there to awaken you. I'm there to really make you ascend to your next remembrance, to the deeper layer, so that feel like you're for me, I'm working with the expanding your auric field and going deeper within your heart, which feels very weird, but like it's basically getting bigger.
Yeah, well, that's very helpful to know. So it's not for people who haven't awakened yet, who are totally
Mm.
unaware. It's for people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are
But
have
you
taken that first step
would
and
not
now,
make any sense
yeah,
if you were not awakened. Like, like there was a lot of things that if you haven't been awakened, there is some even phrase that I'm going to say, you were like, what does that mean? I'm giving you an example because I had a beautiful conversation with someone and she was asking what was integrate. What do you mean about integrating? Like, I need time to integrate. And there is, like, in the common sense, like the mainstream idea of integrating or integrator, it's kind of in business could be OBMs, like the kind of people that will be setting system in place. But integrating is in the weekend space is really much like getting information and getting them land into your body, so it becomes a known fact, a known truth, which could be taking a couple of minutes, but it could take a couple of days, months to integrate a new things. So it's like really much integration is really much leaning into the contemplation, which is the being, as I was saying in the beginning.
that makes sense. And that's really interesting because
Mm.
I have had experiences where new information comes and it feels as though it's like within a few seconds, it's like I've always known that. And I haven't had a word to describe what that feels like, but it is. It's like it
Mm.
integrates. And for
It
certain
does.
things, it just integrates so quickly. And you're just like,
Mm.
what? How is
It's
this
called
brand new
collapsing time
information
and
now
space.
just like a solid fact that I just have
It
always
does,
known?
isn't it? It's just so fun. When that happened, it's just such the best feeling. And sometimes I was talking, I was actually recording a podcast, or I was talking on a video, and I was saying that we get addicted to that at some level. So because it goes, like, sometimes it goes to integrate super fast. It's like, I knew that, but sometimes it's just like, come on, and you're just like getting a bit impatient. Then you realize that you definitely get addicted to that kind of thing. So it's also a new integration to be like, ooh, maybe I'm really getting cold. And again, another word of like, it's surrendering. It's like more like leaning into, I don't need to know everything. I don't need to push anything. It will come when it will come. And that just reduce a lot of the stress and anxiety in your body for sure.
Yes,
Mm.
I can see that. So now I want to go way back. I am curious
Let's do this.
how you found out that you were psychic and how you got started with awakening and all of that.
Of course. Do you have 2 hours? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, of course. So the way, like, I really came out publicly as a psychic not so long ago. It would be a couple of months.
Oh,
The thing is, I always been an empath, and very, like, but the thing is, I call it, I don't, like, everyone has different words, but I call it the train. When I got into my 17, 18 years, when you get your certification and you're ready to go into the big world of adulthood, I got strapped into the train. Like, I got into the train, buckle my seatbelt, and just like, you don't move, you just wait till the end. No, and at some point, you're like, your body was like, I'm kind of getting bored right now. It just doesn't feel right. And like, just feeling like forcing myself, being seated, and you actually want to stand up, or you want to unbuckle your seatbelt. And what I really say, like, in terms of image, is like, at one point you are in the train because you got very conditioned as a child of like, when you say, when someone tells you to do that, you do it. You just don't question it. And then when you're adult, it's like, actually, give me a second, and you unbuckle your seatbelt, and you're like, okay, no one is telling me anything. Okay, so can I stand up now? It's all of the little step, and then one day you decide and you just leave the train because it's not no longer really suitable for what you are designed to be at the soul level. But to tell you, like, when I was a very big empath, I could read people, and I could feel people energy for a very long time. And then when I started going into the workforce, I switched that off completely. So I was very disconnected, and I got all the illness in the world, like burnout, meant, like, anxiety, everything, because I was being told not to be me. Even
yeah.
though it's unsaid, but it's kind of what it is in the workspace. We don't bring personal matter. but we are personal. We are people. Like I cannot not come with my own personal. Like it feels like what am I doing? It's like I'm coming with flesh and bones, is it? And like the rest is staying at the door. It's like makes no sense to me. But it's the big thing about that. And then I really started to realize I was like it kind of glimpsed around the psychic things because I'm still a photographer, but I'm not photographing actively. I'm moving. I'm a mentor, so I photograph my mentee. It's like I photograph the people that work with me one on one, but I don't do only photographs. And I remember so many of my clients, oh my God, you photograph my soul. You are the soul goddess whisperer. Like there is so many, you photograph my essence. And I was, for a while, I was like, what do they mean? Like, and then one day just like, oh, that's the reason some of my people, like some of my clients were saying, I don't recognize me. I could photograph the higher version of who they were. But some people never even had a glimpse of that. So they were like, I don't recognize myself because they never met that person. And then when you have worked with people, like I had worked with so many like different people, like very not awakened people and very awakened people, and I'd be like, you photograph who I was from within. And I was like, okay.
That
Okay.
is
I just
cool.
photograph with what I see of you. Like, I really photograph with what I see of you. And it was actually, it's just really struck me at one time. I was like, oh my God, I was a psychic, but I was using another medium. And now I'm like, you just healed my voice. That's the reason I'm really much, now I'm a full out psychic because I use my voice. I used to use my eyes. I use my hands, like, my body to self-express, but now I'm using a whole my body for self-expressing. So, yeah.
I love that. So you just recently transitioned from mainly being a photographer to being kind of a business coach, but with
Yeah.
this
Yeah, I
psychic.
started I'd say like I started coaching last year, but like I feel like now it's like it's not really coaching anymore. I really love the mentor side of things because coaching feels like copy me and you be great, and I'm more about like go within and you be great. Like just I'm just there to support you, holding your hands through the heart, like through the not hardship because that I don't really subscribe to that, but like through the challenges because unlearning it's painful for many of us because it's just we hold them as this is my identity. No, that's a condition in the identity of who you are, and letting go of that means letting go of your friends, some of them, letting go of maybe family members, all of this. And it's just like, but that they define me and they are feeling defined by me. So that's kind of the codependency that we have to unlearn, and it's just very challenging for all of us. And but then when you get to it and you start doing that, it's just like whenever you get to a new phase of your evolution, you get to see people just fall out and you just thank them for everything they gave you and let them go in their merry way. Let's put it this way. With beautiful love and light.
And that's kind of the external work. And then there's also the internal work that I've told people before. I feel like becoming an online entrepreneur and starting your own business comes with so much personal development that you have to do. And that really surprised me because I can see those two things as connected, but there's limiting beliefs and subconscious fears that I've had to face that if I didn't start my own business, I probably would never have had to face.
Oh yeah,
And a
100%.
lot of personal development.
Being in business is really unearthing all the shadows that have been lingering for a very long time, and they usually come to your face very fast and all together. So it's like really being slapped, kicked in the butt, kicking the in the abs, like everywhere, and you're like feeling bruised, like, oh my God, what I did to myself. Yeah, that happens. But then you heal from it and you're like, I'm stronger and I'm so powerful. So it's all good. It's just it's a process. Let's put it this way. Looks ugly when I say that now. It's like, who wants to try?
Aren't you so excited to go dig into shadows and go through all this pain and maybe lose family members? But
exactly, that's the fun part. No,
it's
I'm
worth
kidding.
it.
But
It's worth it.
it's and you don't have to. It's just like sometimes that happens, and I'm not saying it's something that you have to do, but like I was talking to a sisters from one of the mastermind I'm part of, and she was like really talking about a friend of hers. Like she was like, every time I feel like I'm coaching her for free, and I'm like feeling like she's taking, and I just like I feel like I'm done, but like, all the ickiness of like, yeah, but at the same time, she's a friend and I know her for a long time. And, so if you like, either you can decide just like, this is no longer serving me and you just energetically stopping that straight, or you can distance yourself, like, I'm no longer going to do that. But the thing is also learning that setting your boundaries might hurt someone else. But if you don't set your boundaries, you're hurting yourself. You're eating the bitterness. And that's actually not in your best interest. So it's not about being individualist or anything like that. I don't say you're going to shout at the person, but like you can take care of them and just say, I understand this is what you need, yet I'm not available for this anymore. It's
That's
just like
probably
it's
better than
a
like
lot for
letting
me.
resentment build and destroying the relationship slowly over time.
Exactly.
It's not to say, you don't have to have the same boundaries as somebody else, because I think sometimes we hear you have to have boundaries, and it's like, well, but set the ones that you feel like if you're a more open person than the person next to you, that's okay too. Just know what your personal boundaries are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do feel like there is some definition of boundaries that feels very pressury at some level. Like, I was even like, I was looking at a page, and like the person had to state the boundaries. And I was like, I don't need to state my boundaries. And like very hard, straight, very kind of like feeling very kind of, this is how it is. Like if you feel like you were putting me in a box again. But the thing is, I'm more about energetically leaning into, this is what I'm available for. And then when I work with my client, I say to them, I work mostly on other Voxer, or any a Voxer Marco Polo. It depends of what kind of client I have, and I say to them, I'm available Monday to Thursday, but they are more than welcome to drop any messages from Wednesday to Sunday, but they're not expecting me to get back to them straight now. But the thing is, maybe I'm available on that Friday and I'm feeling excited to answer them. I will. If I'm not available, they're not expecting me to answer. And the thing is, that's really kind of like, when you say that, like it's really fun, because my apologies, I have very noisy teenagers outside. There's not mind, but it's just anyway. Um it's just, yeah, I was thinking, oh yeah, in about boundaries, but it's just the big thing about like that. And when I say that to my client with no very strict boundaries, they was like, oh, I'm going to drop down Thursday so I can let you having your great weekends. And I was like, oh wow, it's just like, it was not even like setting like the string very hard boundaries, but like my client understood, and they were like, fine, no worries. It's just like, this
Yeah,
is what
start
it is.
defining it
Boundaries,
in
it doesn't
a
have to be
positive way.
very straight and strong, but they need to be assessed energetically. And when you actually assess them energetically, there is a lot of things that will not come your way anymore, because they don't even need to be said. They are sent to the universe, and everyone is going received. Tick. It's lovely when that happens. I'm not saying it's all the time, but you get pushed by the boundaries all the time, because it's just like, have you acquired that boundaries yet? And then someone's going to be like, dee, 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 and it's like, not yet. Or actually, I have. Thank you very much. This is no longer available. But yeah, it's great.
That is awesome. So, if people want to learn more about working with you, where should they go next?
Oh, so I would say, I was going to say Instagram, but I feel like going to my podcast is actually the best place,
Mhm.
because I get very intimate in my podcast. I share things that it's not anywhere else at the moment, at least. So if you really want to know who I am and like what I work and what I do, my podcast would be the best, because it's kind of like us having I have a monologue, but it's kind of like energetically having the chat. And also afterwards will be Instagram. It's where I hang the most, and I like drop into the DMs. Like, don't worry about that. Like, there is no hard boundaries about my DMs. It's just like, go and drop me a message. Hey, I would love to connect with you. That's where it is. In Instagram, it's divinely Lucie. It's IE at the end for Lucie. I'm the French way.
All right. Well, I will get those links from you also, so I can put
Of
them in the show
course.
notes and people can click that.
Thank
So, yeah.
you. Thank you.
Do you
Thank you.
have any final thoughts that you would like to impart to the audience?
Yeah, I was actually, that's a kind of the subject I have the last day. So I feel like it's going to be like it probably be important for someone that is listening to us. Is there is a big thing about wealth, and wealth is usually associated with money. Well, like, wealth has different aspects. It's not just money, but if we were to leaning into wealth, money, wealth, there is a lot of us that will be associated. I just identified three ones, and I was talking to some of my clients, and not everyone will go in those three categories, but there is one category is like a lot of us will feel that you're already happy, you already feel right now, but the thing is your bank account might not feel the like, you might not be financially free the way you desire to be, and then you kind of feeling kind of like very scared of like, what if I'm actually losing myself, or any kind of aspect of the idea of like, I am this person, and if I actually pour some money in the bank account, will I lose myself? And I really would love for like to integrate to everyone that it's not the case if you are aware of who you are. So that is like, it really depends on like going into inwards. So like working on your core values as well, and also other aspects of it, which I usually cover in my goodness, my Maven Mind. Is I'm doing an 8 weeks Maven Mind in September called The Temple, and you will get to go very deep into knowing who you are, so you can become the most powerful, the most self-expressed version of who you are, and really honor the sacred divinity of who you are. And then you can shine through the world this way. But really, if you wanted to start anywhere, and you may not be as advanced as others, and there is no competition or anything in your awakening, the core values is very kind of basic, and not in a bad, like not in a judgy way, but it's no, everyone can access that. It's not too spiritual or anything like that. It's very very accessible, and really helps you define who you are in words, so you can actually show in the word that those are my five, and then you can work around them, and just like, this is, I'm not budging, this is what who, like, those are my core values, those are not changing, they're not like, they're no, yeah, there is no discussion about that, so that helps with boundaries again.
Yes. I love that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me today as well.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Thank
A
you.
lovely
Thank
chat.
you.
All right. Well, we will say goodbye then. Let me press the button.